Hi students, today we are going to see direct assessment of carbon footprint. I am Dr. S. Rekha, Associate Professor in RMD Engineering College, Chennai. Let us get into the topic. So what is carbon footprint? It is the measure of total greenhouse gas emitted by an organization directly and indirectly by an individual organization, event or a product. Okay. Either it is emitted directly or they emit indirectly, either of the way. So today we are going to see in that direct emission factors. Okay, before going to that, why we need to assess this carbon footprint? To identify the emission hotspot, that is where we are emitting more, where we can reduce this greenhouse gas, the hotspots where we are spending more energy, okay, or producing more greenhouse gas, okay. And if we identify that, we can improve the energy efficiency of our product, of our organization for any event, okay, and also to comply with sustainable regulation and standards. Direct versus indirect carbon emission. What is it? Okay, direct emission falls under, we know carbon emission, we consider it into three scopes, scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3. So direct emission falls under scope 1. Okay, emission from source owned or controlled by the entity. Anything, if you are driving a vehicle, right, it is you are spending energy, okay, so it is direct emission. Burning a cooking a food, okay, so you burn the fuel to cook a food, so that which is a direct emission, okay. So all these are direct emission which come under scope 1. Okay, indirect emission which is scope 2 and 3. What is scope 2? Purchased electricity, steam, heating, and cooling system. What is it? So electricity, when you are using electricity, carbon dioxide is not released. But for production of this electricity, thermal power plant is spending lot of carbon dioxide. So end user is you. So it comes under indirect emission by you. The thermal power plant emit directly, but you are the cause for that emission. So it is indirect emission. And that is that comes under scope 2. Okay, scope 3, supply chain, employee commuting, waste disposal, etc. falls under indirect emission. That is, once you have made a product, it has to reach a customer, right? So in between there are many people in between to make the product reach from the industrialist to the common man. So that during that, all these are indirect emission. The common man who is using will be the direct emission. Okay. So all this is a scope, will fall under scope 3, which is under indirect emission. So what are the gases which is emitted in GHG? Okay, what are the gases considered? 6 gases are considered, which is given in this figure. Okay, I'll take the laser pointer. So PFC, what is that? Perfluorocarbon, carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, HFCS, okay, hydrofluorocarbon sulfur, methane and sulfur hexafluoride. These are the 6 main gases responsible for GHG, greenhouse gas. Okay, so we can see scope 1 is direct emission, scope 2 is electricity usage, heating, cooling, all those things comes under scope 2, so which is indirect emission. Scope 3 is upstream also as well as downstream. See, to make a product, we need to bring the raw material to the industry, right? So it is upstream process, that is also indirect emission. So it comes under scope 3. And once the product is ready, it has to reach the end user, and that also comes under scope 3. So this is downstream activities. So all these are scope 3. What is direct assessment? Measurement and calculation of carbon emission from sources directly controlled by the organization or an individual. So if you are directly, it is under your control, carbon emission, then it is direct emission. What are the focus area? On-site fossil fuel uses, that is petrol, gas, diesel on-site. If you are driving, I told no, so then it is you are using the fuel, so that comes under. If you are burning the gas for cooking food, so it is direct emission. Vehicle emissions through vehicles. See, fossil fuel is all the gases, all the liquids which is used for automobile industry, for anything, for all purposes. So vehicle emission is also same thing. And process emission in manufacturing, for preparing something, for producing something. Wow, there is a lot of process or lot of steps taking place. So emission in each and every steps is taken as direct emission. Methods of direct assessment. So what we do, we take, actually direct assessment is easy to calculate and is also very accurate in calculation because it is under the control of the individual or the organization. We'll see step by step what is the process for direct assessment. Okay. So activity data collection. So what are the activity they do? That data is collected. That is the first step. Example, fuel usage logs, vehicle mileage, equipment energy consumption, etc. Then emission factor applications. Using published values, okay, to convert activity data into carbon dioxide equivalents. Okay, so you have IPCC, EPA, these and all have published the value. So using that factor, conversion factor, so you calculate the carbon dioxide equivalent emission. Okay. Actually, I have put another video where we talk about scope 1, scope 2, scope 3 in detail and also about this publishing factors. See that video for more clarity. Okay. Calculation and formula. So how it is calculated? Emission carbon dioxide equivalence equal to activity data into emission factor. Okay. Now tools and standards. So we have what are the tools and what are the standards? Okay, GHG protocol. Greenhouse gas protocol. We have a booklet which is available online. You can use that, download it at any point of time and you can go with the protocol. Okay. Then I have ISO 14064. It is also available. You can use that standard values for calculation. Okay, USEP, US Environmental Protection Agency. So we can use that also for the purpose of calculation. Simplified GH emission calculator is US Environmental Protection Agency. Okay, and we also have DEFRA, which is UK Department of Environment, Food and Rural Affairs guidelines. Okay, so likewise we have different guidelines as we can go with any guidelines. As Indians generally we go with GHG protocol. Sample calculation, example. So diesel generator we are using, consider, okay. Diesel used per year is 5,000 liters, okay. So emission factor is for diesel is 2.68 kg carbon equivalent per liter, okay. So 5,000 into 2.68, which is 13,400 kg carbon dioxide equivalent, or 13.4 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent released from the diesel generator. So it is very simple to calculate. Benefit and challenges of the direct assessment. Let us see the benefit. So it is real-time quantified emission data. Okay. So we have the data in real time and it is quantified very clearly. Enables effective mitigation strategies. See, as we are able to calculate the data clearly, why we want to calculate? We want to find out the hotspots where it goes higher, where it goes lower, so we can effectively mitigate the strategies. Okay. Supports carbon accounting and reporting. Okay. Direct assessment can be used for accounting the carbon emission. Promotes transparency and accountability. The organization is very transparent. Okay. You can make it more transparent. Challenges. So what are the challenges one have during the calculation of direct assessment? Data availability and accuracy. Okay, need for data. Need for training and awareness. Why this is required? We need to train the people and make them, create them awareness in them. High initial cost for monitoring systems, integration with broader sustainability reporting. See, one has to collect the data, means one has to monitor it, then only we can collect it. So most of the time cost of monitoring becomes very high. So it is more a little bit costlier, right? That is, a product comes with say 5 rupees, means now the product will come out with 5 rupees 50 paise. So it is higher the value for a producer, but for the sustainability purpose, one has to do that. So let us take a detailed example, direct carbon footprint assessment of an university campus. Okay, how much it is spending. So we have natural gas, we have diesel generator, we have gasoline, we have LPG, we have refrigerant leakages. Okay, so activity data, they have found at so and so value, and units have also been given here. So emission factor, we have to take it from either one of the data. I have given lot of tools. In that one tool you can follow and take the data. Okay, so data is put. Now multiply this term and this term, you get the value. So finally you get the total value. So university total assessment is so much kg carbon dioxide equivalent, or 157 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent. So it is so simple to calculate, but most difficult part is to get this activity data sheet, data value. Okay. See, now I have calculated. I said no, we have hotspots. So hotspots I have plotted in the form of graph to identify which area is more, where it is high, where it is low. See, refrigerant leakage, we have very high value, 66.2%. Now, once we have identified, we can reduce that. Okay. So here, see in the bar chart, it is very high. Okay. And lowest is LPG, labs and cafes. So it emits very less energy. One has to work on is refrigerant leakage, and gasoline vehicle also some amount we can work out. Okay. So top emission source is 66%, scope 1 emission. So scope 1 emission, that is, so it is under the control, direct emission. So it is under the control of the people or the organization. Okay. Second highest is gasoline in the campus. So this hotspot we can identify from the chart or from the value. So now we need to mitigate. Okay. So refrigerant leakage, how to mitigate the issue? Switch off low GWP refrigerant, routine maintenance, leakage detection system you have to provide. Then you can reduce this. Okay. Vehicle campus, transition to EV fleet. Okay. You can form from this gasoline to e-vehicle. Okay, promote cycling and carpooling. So you can promote cycling and carpooling. So that also will reduce the value. Diesel generator, upgrade to solar backed battery system. So energy storage. So instead of using 100% diesel, so we can have solar system also supporting it. So partially we can reduce it. Okay, so solar backed with battery system, so it can reduce energy. Natural gas, use high efficient condensing boilers, insulation improvement can be done to reduce that area. Every sector we are telling, but most of the sector which need to be addressed, we can address it. Okay, you LPG usage, electrify cooking and lab heating, smart usage timers. Okay, so you can use smart usage timers to reduce the electricity. I hope so you have understood what is direct assessment. I have also explained using an university data how a direct assessment data is calculated. Hope so you have understood it. Thank you, students. Let us meet you again. Thank you.